Every system that governs you, political, religious, educational, depends on one thing: your emotional reactions. They don't control your logic. They control how you feel. And through that feeling, they shape what you believe, what you obey, what you become. But decades ago, something went wrong. A classified military experiment broke that chain. It stripped soldiers of emotion entirely. Fear, guilt, hesitation, gone. The experiment was called the black spot. It was never discontinued. It was suppressed. Because a mind trained to think like that, calm, detached, ungovernable, would break the world open. The birth of the black spot. The idea started with a question. What if the greatest weapon isn't physical? Not a rifle, not a drone, not even a nuclear code, but the mind that commands them all. In 1969, under a secret cognitive endurance division, a group of psychologists began searching for something beyond control: mental deletion. They didn't want to guide thought. They wanted to erase it. Meditation, breathwork, isolation, all failed. The mind always returned to its old patterns. It always clung to the voice inside, the narrator that says, "I am doing this," until one psychologist, Dr. Raines, proposed something radical. He said, "Don't focus on something. Focus on nothing, a void, a black spot, imaginary, infinite, featureless, no sound, no texture, no meaning." The instruction was simple. For 1 hour, think of nothing except the existence of the black spot. Do not visualize it. Do not describe it. Just become it. The descent into zero. Inside those 60 minutes, ordinary psychology fell apart. Subjects reported silence deeper than sleep. Some screamed, some collapsed. But a few, the dangerous few, went completely still. They reached what Raines called cognitive zero. Zero is not peace. Zero is erasure. It's the point where the voice in your head, yourself, vanishes. At zero, there's no I, only action, pure and automatic. Most people mistake it for enlightenment. It's not. It's mechanical. At zero, you don't transcend your humanity. You suspend it. You don't think. You don't react. You simply execute. The perfect soldier. The military was fascinated. Operators trained under the black spot protocol could perform under stress levels that would shatter ordinary men. Their heart rates dropped. Their movements slowed. Their precision increased. In live simulations, some soldiers walked through gunfire as if time itself had thickened. No panic, no startle reflex, just movement, calculation, execution. One observer wrote, "He didn't duck. He didn't flinch. His pulse never rose above 60. When asked afterward what he felt, the soldier said, "I wasn't there. Someone else was moving my body." The military called it neural detachment. The psychologists called it pure cognition. The soldiers called it the void. But soon they noticed something else, something terrifying. The soldiers who mastered it never came back the same. Their emotions were gone. They didn't laugh the same. They didn't connect. They didn't feel. They had become perfect machines of logic, precise, lethal, unstoppable. But when the mission ended, they couldn't turn it off. They described the world as flat. Colors dulled, faces lost meaning. Emotion was gone, burned away permanently. They had reached the goal philosophers and monks chase for lifetimes. But without wisdom, without compassion, without return, the quiet burial. So, The project was buried. No scandal, no press, just silence. The official report called it psychological over-isolation. Unofficially, it was called creating ghosts in living bodies. Because once you erase emotion, you erase control. And no government survives a population it can't manipulate. The experiment didn't fail. It succeeded too well. The hidden truth. Here's the part they don't want you to know. Every mind is a battlefield. Most people lose before the first shot. Not because they're weak, but because they mistake noise for thought. That endless inner stream of, what if? Why me? I can't. That's not thinking. That's static. And static kills focus faster than fear. The average person wakes up to it every day. Noise disguised as personality. Noise disguised as identity. But when you learn to silence it, to delete that noise, to reach your own version of zero, you become something else. You stop reacting. You start observing. And once you see the world for what it really is, you can't unsee it. The message. Your emotions aren't weaknesses. They're operating systems. Fear keeps you alive. Guilt keeps you moral. Shame keeps you social. But they also keep you manageable. When you remove them, the filters fall away. You see cause, effect, consequence without distortion. It's clarity without compassion. Truth without comfort. Reality, raw and unfiltered. Every system you've ever known, political, religious, educational, runs on one hidden engine. Your emotions. They don't control your reason. They control your reactions. Because if your reactions can be predicted, your behavior can be controlled. But there was a moment in history, brief, secret, and quickly buried, when that control slipped. A classified military experiment stripped soldiers of emotional interference. It erased fear, guilt, hesitation, and what emerged was something beyond human obedience. They called it the black spot. It wasn't discontinued. It was suppressed. Because it didn't break soldiers, it created soldiers who couldn't be broken. The discovery. It began as a question. What happens when the human mind runs out of thought? Can a person function without emotion, without the internal noise that defines identity? In 1969, a psychologist named Dr. Raines was assigned to a classified division studying cognitive endurance. Meditation, breath control, isolation tanks, they all failed. No matter how still the subjects became, the mind always returned to the narrator inside. The constant whisper, I am doing this. I am here. Raines proposed something radical. He said, don't focus on something. Focus on nothing. The subjects were told to imagine a single black spot. Not darkness, not color, not shape. Absence. No texture, no meaning. Just the idea of pure void. The instructions were simple. Greater than, for 1 hour, think of nothing except the existence of the black spot. Do not visualize it. Do not analyze it. Become it. No clocks, no sounds, no feedback. Just a chair, on a room, and the concept of nothingness. What happened inside those 60 minutes defied explanation. Some screamed, some broke down, some fell asleep out of sheer neurological exhaustion. But a few, the dangerous few, did not move. They reached what Raines called cognitive zero. Cognitive 0 is not peace. Zero is erasure. It's the moment when the voice in your head, the one that says, I am, disappears. No emotion, No identity. No self. At 0, you don't feel. You don't react. You execute. The military called it neural detachment. The psychologists called it pure cognition. The soldiers called it the void. And in the void, performance skyrocketed. Operators reacted faster, processed data quicker, and stayed calm under impossible pressure. Their heart rates dropped. Their movements slowed but became precise, surgical. In one live-fire test, a soldier walked calmly through gunfire, pulse steady at 58. No flinch. No panic. When asked later what he experienced, he said, "I didn't feel like I was there. I was watching someone else move my body. That was the breakthrough and the disaster."